Episode 97, Elder Sensei, our family, our brother, fucking doing this shit all the time. Fucking one of the good dudes in this shit. And I'm gonna say that, give you flowers as far as that goes, just being a fucking nice guy, man. Like, for real.
Nah, man, I appreciate that, because you know, in this game, it ain't a lot of us.
That's what I'm saying, son. It's just like this industry is full of fucking weirdos, fucking goofy artists, goofy industry cats, goofy radio dudes. Me, I'm an idiot, I guess, too. So fucking like it's always, you know, it's just a breath of fresh air to like work with you, build with you, do shit and stuff, because you know, you're just about it. You're on time, fucking punctual. I don't think it's on time.
I be hitting you out. I be making sure I want to be on point though.
Already there, and I'm like, damn, like this cat's already there. That shit don't like happen. So thank you, yo, for real.
No doubt.
For being a
but,
you know,
but I know how it go, man. I know how it go.
Yeah, I mean, aside from being, you know what I'm saying, a legendary artist and somebody that I was, you know, like, oh, that nigga dope, you know, as a teenager and stuff like that. Like you're a solid person first and foremost. So so it's always a pleasure. So shout out to our official show sponsor, Diggable Tees. They do
I was just looking at it.
Hip hop tees, they can't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. Actually, it's in the thing. Yeah, it's our show sponsor. Got a couple of ground rules. Use the questions feature below if you got questions. That way we can pull them up. And also, if you get any fuck shit, as you can see, if you in here, send your ass home. So, Al, we're gonna.
But before we start, I want to say peace to everybody that's on here, that's going to come on here, because it's hard for me to do anything typing wise or answer anything when we talking. So I see everybody talking and saying what's up. So I'm gonna say peace to everybody now before we get started.
Yeah, the preliminary piece, and I pull up questions. You know what I'm saying, as they're related, ideally as they're related to the discussion, because that's what makes it better. So what we're going to do is we're going to split it in half. We're going to obviously get into the New Artifacts album dropping shortly. Going to figure out the date on that. But what I first wanted to do, man, was I really wanted to utilize your knowledge as far as the industry goes and really talk about some of this stuff, man, because you're in it. You're an artist, and I see it from a distance as an observer. And we see, you know, the game has changed, the industry's game changed, and I just wanted to, you know, like, to me, I tell everybody, I'm like, go to L's page and just do what he does. Like, just do what the fuck he does. Like, just do everything he does, just do it. You're like, you know what I'm saying? And so you've really, as an older artist, you know, from 90s and stuff like that, you've been able to morph and you know, turn into some other stuff and keep your name and brand and all that shit alive. So I really wanted to talk about some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I'm more than welcome to share information. You know, there's a lot of things that people can do. I mean, it's like what works for one person don't always work for everybody. But there's always a certain blueprint that you can follow. You know, even if you make it up for yourself. You know, a lot of people won't admit that they watch other people to learn also what to do. There's no shame in that. It's just that everybody don't always know. You don't always have the tools to have at your disposal to do all these things, and maybe just don't know. So a lot of times, and that's how I learn as well. It's no different than going to shows.
So one question I got for you, the first question I got is like, and I particularly wanted to look at like being an older artist, because a lot of older artists have it just got a different, they still think it's like 90s, like 1993, some of them. So what are some of the top things as an older artist that cats can do to you know, keep the shit going, as far as, aside from making good music? Because to me, first of all, if you don't make good music, fuck everything else. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. That's
the start.
I'm assuming that's a given.
Right, that's the start of it. You know what I'm saying? And because we're older artists, a lot of people who say may not know me and James still making records, or if I'm making records, in their head, they're gonna think that we sound like how we sounded in our older records. And if they're not on the internet, they may not be as keen to maybe where you are online. So I always say, like, yeah, the music comes first, because the records ain't hot or if you're not accessible online with music or visuals, it's harder for us. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where the generational gap comes in, where if you're not, a lot of dudes ain't savvy on the internet, even with their phones. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. But sometimes maybe then you get somebody that might be that way and you hire them to probably control your page. If you're not, and a lot of dudes from my era, they not with the being online shit like that. Where it's they putting out all their info and sharing and shit like that. So it's like more or less, I tell them all the time, like, yo, you don't have to do what everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you concentrate on just the work part, you won't think about the other shit that come with being on social media. So, I always say with these pages are built for people like me, mostly. You know what I'm saying? So these are things we didn't have as artists when we were on the major label or say independently early on. So this is like the easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Just putting up pictures and putting music to the pictures and putting the word out that you have music out there. So that's always first.
Right. And I think it's interesting too, because I think one thing I want to share is that it seems like it's a double-edged sword. Some artists, I feel like, think their name alone will carry them, and they're not putting out music, and they think it's like, oh,
Right.
people ain't fucking with me. I'm the whatever. And then I feel like some artists are so anti-social or anti-social media or whatever that they don't use their name enough to promote. They're doing stuff, but they don't use their name enough to promote the fact that they're doing stuff. So it's like,
Right.
damn, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to actually pump. People gotta, like, you got like a fraction of a second to get somebody's attention on here, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
no
yeah.
matter who you are.
It's like when people scroll through the posts and they see stuff, they may laugh, something may catch their eye or something like that. But you know, I always say this is like a thing built for even the not as smart person. You know what I'm saying? And then our generation too comes from the age of not wanting to put so much out there. Whereas like not say like that, but on the way of like saying like, you know what I'm saying, like hermit wise, like yo, I don't fuck with social media like that. You hear a lot of dudes say that. Whereas like, they get it confused where it's like, look, you don't have to play around on that. You know what I'm saying? You can be business or you can be personal. They got you to have choices how you run your page. So
Especially
I think
now.
right, and I think people be compelled to where they feel like, they don't want to put too much. And when I say too much, it means that maybe they think they have to be so personal where they got to put their kids' pictures or play the Instagram game when it's really just like here for you to manipulate what you already have and bring your people who you feel follow you attention to you.
Right.
So this is still what it is. It's social media. It's not just for TikTok and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because even with that, you can use that even with doing that where you just put your show footage up, or But I think these guys feel like it's not for them. Where they feel like they being like the masses. Like I ain't doing that shit. I ain't like everybody else. But you lose a little percentage of what you could be doing for your work.
You lose a lot, yo, especially now. I think it's more than a little. I think, in my opinion, being on the other side of it, you have to have a presence on here. Just some way for people to, if you have a fan base, you owe it to them almost now to have something
Right,
like
right,
this
right.
keeping them in the loop of as far as what's going on, man, because they're gonna forget. Like, they're gonna forget. They're not. What are you gonna get, a flyer or something? Street team? Who the fuck's like what? Like,
Right.
how do people hear about shit? Through that
And,
media.
and and that's where the merch and everything comes in. These are, I think people think that these things will hurt them to have things at their disposal to really help them. Everything costs. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you have to look at it not as a cost, but as an investment cost in yourself. And sometimes, cats feel like that's not the route they want to go. It's no different than putting out music. You got dudes that's still traditional with the cassettes and the CDs, where some do the vinyl, and then sometimes that's what they can afford, and that's cool because you still whether if it's older music or newer, you're still contributing to what is your path is to get to these people, and a lot of times that they maybe associate yourself with people that can help you, that might cost too. That's still investment. It's not a loss, but I think with some people that the comeback time ain't fast enough for them to feel like to want to indulge in that.
Right, right. And like you said, there's a lot of misconceptions too. Cats think it can be about whatever you want it to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it can be rah-rah shit or it can be all about business. I mean, like that's a prime way that people communicate these days, man. So if you're an artist, especially if you're an older artist and people don't know that you're still doing stuff, like you gotta have just somewhat of a presence on there. I mean, you don't, like you said, you don't have to be sharing stupid shit all the time or getting engaged in
Right.
fights. You know what I mean?
But and I tell people too, and it's the perfect example. My man Snow Goons, you know what I'm saying? Like they have more than just being DJs and artists. They have a promotional team. They have a label part now where they do merch for other artists. They have a service. My man App Rock Blog Love. Anybody who's listening to me right now, App Rock _ Blog Love. He controls the media part of Goons Gear and everything that Snow Goons doing. So it's like investment wise, this man will promote your music. You know what I'm saying? And it don't cost you a lot. But it's the fact of that you're taking the time out to say, like, yo, I need this. I need promotion, like, especially online. When you talk about not getting a blast on Hip Hop DX, there's a lot of Ambrosia for Heads. There's a lot of sites out there, blog-wise, that play new music.
Right.
And where people rely on these sites to get the new music.
Yeah,
So
carrying the culture, we like new music too. We're not just 90s.
Right. So this is where your mind comes in, where as an artist, you say, okay, there's nobody else really to help me do this, but if I only invest this little bit of money, this is what's going to get me this. But then you keep doing it. And that's for every project you put out. I don't care if it's a single, it could be an EP, an album, an NFT, whatever it is that you're trying to promote. Is people out there that are, willing to help, and for their services, like, it costs, but it don't cost a lot.
Right.
So that's the thing. You hope that whether if it's especially for the older artists, we still need that. You know what I'm saying? Like even when you say name wise, our name is in a hat with a lot of other people too, not just older artists. But when you talk about the caliber of music that we make, we know who's who and what everybody's doing and who they are. So it's just like you still have to compete. And really that's what it is. You have to compete with this game. Like, if you're non-existent to the listeners or the fans, you're not competing.
Right.
And that means that you have to spend money. And that means that you have to invest in your name still and your brand.
Do you think a lot of older artists, or especially ones that like had some success with a label that were used to A&Rs and labels doing shit for you, do you think it's kind of like it's a hard pivot for some of them to be like, wait, now I got to do this on my own type shit? Like, it feels like some of them are like a little bit, I don't want to say delusional, but still stuck in this old way of thinking, like somebody's supposed to come in, like a label is supposed to come in and do all this.
Right. Label wise, there are no more labels. There's labels out there, but like it's more about the distribution than the label part, because even with the labels, they asking you to come with the full package anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they know y'all recording in the crib. We know y'all doing this and that, blah, 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 blah. So pretty much that part we ain't got to do for y'all. Y'all just really asking us to give y'all this bread, to do what you need to do to put it out to the world. Like, not just the world you live in, but the world we live in, and to the masses. So, older artists is like shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like asking how much for a show. A lot of artists, we feel as though, we don't want to be too far away from what we used to make back in the day. But because today is now, and it's not that climate anymore, You know, it's like almost like it's an even playing field for everybody. And the promoters know this, the labels know this. So it's almost like a game where you got to play the game right. You know, you got to play the game with what you have. Because whereas like you would think that a lot of these people think these labels still give out money, as far as advance wise, they give you some bread, but that bread gonna go to you making a video or you doing promotion. So they are saying to us like, yo, y'all who y'all are. If you say who you say you are, it should be easy for you to sell these records with your name and your brand. You know, but then also we say, okay, cool. But with this part of you, this is where you come in too, but I add on. So these are the games you can play as an artist, but it's only if you understand what you're dealing with and not to be so delusional, because you can't think that you're going to get an independent deal and going to get $100,000 out of these people, especially with with the way the market is right now. You have to be real smart. You know, a lot of labels are willing to give you the deal, and some are willing to do it right. Everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a lot you should expect them to do to a point of where how it used to be when we were on a big label. So there is no marketing department. There is no this department, that department. It's just you that labels that may not be in America and you online doing business with them online, not face to face. So it's a lot of shit where it's like, because you can't meet these people or fly to these places, you have to be trusting in these people to say like, yo, but if it's a label that you know is good for you and they putting out the kind of music that you do, that's what happened with me and Sadat with say Vinyl Digital. You know, they came to me for something totally different. And I was like, yo, how about a record with me and Sadat? They was like, okay, yeah, hell yeah. And I sent them what we did already. They was like, okay, bet, cool, let's go. But because they didn't know how we were going to be as artists on their label. But once the record came out, they saw how many videos we had. They saw they didn't have to pay for that, but help with one. They saw that we was on tour. They saw we was tagging them in the post. Saw that like we need them to do the same thing. So this is with not just them. This is what any other label is going to be. But it's just the expectation that I have independently for them to do, where I'm not, like you said, delusional in what they are capable of doing.
Right.
So and that's when you take it upon yourself to say like, yo, you know what? I know a lot of motherfuckers, man. You know what? Let me see what real power I really have to see if these people really out there for me. So that's when it come. That's when it come back to the music. You can't do shit. All this thing we talking about now without a package for people to even feel like they're gonna want to spend their money on you.
Right.
So
right.
I think as artists, we have to be realistic in ourselves to say, you know, what are we having to offer for these new people that might get a wind of what we're doing, and for the people that have been following us, what reason are we giving them to keep following us, even from what we did in our past to now?
Right.
So that's the dilemma dudes got to ask themselves when they say, because in a lot of promoters, they know this, when these dudes come with these astronomical numbers, they're like, God damn. And the first thing they say, like, you ain't got no music out to date up. So, you know, that's where we at.
Right. It's totally different. And regardless, so you said, you know, sometimes labels give some bread, but still it's different. And still you pointed out that the artist still has to do some work. You still have to do some shit, man. And it's not just gonna, right. Nobody's coming. There's no A&Rs. There's very few people you're not getting no four album deals. None of that
No.
shit, man. No, stop it.
Like these days, you wouldn't even want to do that.
And like you said, the best thing is really about distribution. There was a lot of people, like, I mean, I've seen like Duck Down. They were pumping a lot of artists, slapping a Duck Down logo in the video and stuff like that. But they weren't on no Duck Down label. You know what I'm saying? That was still an independent project. They weren't like,
and that was Duck Down being smart as a label to say, you know, y'all don't have to be on Duck Down, but we'll distribute the product for you. So that's really, you know, giving Duck Down a blanket over them to say like, yo, we ain't trying to be responsible to you as a label to say we're going to promise you this and that and the third, because they know how it go from where they started from not to do that. So we just going to offer our services, and that's what they did. And they did, and that way they did it was like, yo, one off, bang, one off, bang. You know what I'm saying? That's no different than a lot of these labels. They even say Fat Beats. You get that one off, and whatever it do for you, bang. If the shit do good, let's do another one.
Right.
And that's really how it should go. It's no different than basketball players and football. Any contract, you know, they say you in your contract year. What that means? Shit, you got to perform.
Right.
In order to get that money for the next deal or whatever contract you're gonna get. So it's the same thing for us doing this with these records. You know, from so many different labels we work on, whether it's in America, Canada, Europe. You know, we like artists. I always say I'm like a NBA player on a 10-day contract, right. And you just and until they feel like, yo, you know what, let's get this dude his money, man, because he is busting it. He busting his ass right now.
Yeah, he out here hustling for loose balls and shit. You know
right. He nigga ain't got no contract. Nigga busting his ass.
Taking charges and shit in the fucking lane. Everything. Real quick, everybody, stick around. Because in the second part of the show, we're gonna get into the new Artifacts album, which we dropping soon. Play a few snippets of that. Can't play a lot because IG be bugging, and they will just snatch the show, and we cannot lose this footage. I lost Smooth Beat from Nice and Smooth interview, like one of the best joints I ever did, yo. This cat talking about Bobby Brown and Michael Jackson, cocaine and shit, and lost it. So yeah, wild. Smooth be a wild brother. So yeah, So stick around. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But yeah, it's different now, man. And that's the thing. And that's why I really wanted you to touch on it being an older artist, because some cats just aren't getting it. You know what I'm saying? Some cats are, here's one prime thing. I've seen people sitting on music forever and ever thinking like their fan base is just clamoring, waiting for them to like drop something. And it's like, no, you
drop it. Just drop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Coogee Rap. About to drop another album and a single with Big Daddy Kane. So this, imagine everybody from Versus. Oh, whoa, Coogee Rap ain't gonna come out for Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane, like, leave my man alone. Leave him alone. He can't come here. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got shit in the works going on. And look what's about to happen. That's the tradition to G-Rap as an older artist, always mending with the times. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude was on, what was that label? Major League. He did shit with Ronkus. This man has kept it moving, in a way where this is what I mean. Like, you're able to make a record in 2022 when you started in the way early 90s, 90, 91, 90, 80s. Come on, man. 88, you know what I'm saying? Like, so this is a testament to his craft, but also for fans that still want to hear G-Rap. You know what I'm saying?
I say that all the time. He's a perfect example. I say, and that's why I say, like, people talk about adapting and changing shit when you get older. G-Rap still G-Rap crushes shit at 54.
Yeah. So and the age part don't matter, because always with skill you get better and wiser. But you imagine, for me it was like watching Rock Raider start early on these routines he was doing to getting to winning the battles and then getting into the executioners and then making records and then seeing him do these routines that he did in the past, like blindfolded. I'm like, damn, motherfucker, that shit you should be way greater now than you was in the past. So, but that's when you keep the pen active.
Right.
Pen got to be active, man.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate you just bringing it there, because again, we're assuming that you're talking about cats still making music, yo. Because if you're not making quality music at that, like that's right. First and foremost. So that's just a built-in assumption. What would you do differently, knowing what you know now? Like if you had some of the knowledge that from today went back to the 90s or whatever, is there a situation that you would apply it to and said, it would have worked out differently for you, better for you?
Definitely. It's funny you asked me this, because I said this to Redman a few years ago, sitting in Do It All studio, and this is when I was starting to do the merch a little bit heavier with the snapbacks and everything. I was showing him all the stuff, and I said to him, because he was like, "Yo, this shit is dope." This is way before any of these camo hats and all the stuff I'm doing. He saw the prototypes, and I had a few hats already done, but he was like, "Yo, this shit is crazy, man." Like, he said, "Oh, you really getting into it with that part of it?" I said, "Yeah, it got to be something else we could do because I'm not going to work in no job. You know what I'm saying? This is it. So I'm trying to add things on. But I said to him, I said, it's crazy to know all this stuff now, especially from that point then to now, and all the stuff I learned from that conversation to now. I said to him, I wish that I had known these things, maybe say like, not even say 10 years, like 5 years. For me, it'd probably be like 2006 when I put out the Unusual album. If I had the knowledge today that I had for that album back then, I think that because me and Tane wasn't back together at that time. I think solo wise, I would if I would have applied that knowledge now to that, I would be a lot more further on. And far as like it goes for the brand, and because the music, even from them, I always been doing that. So this part of it is something I wish I had started back then, because I think that even with the merch, it would be much more now. Maybe probably somebody would have been partnering up with me where the kind of merch I want to do that I can't make, that calls for a manufacturer or people with more sewing. So it's I know that is the only part of it that I regret. But as far as anything else, no. I don't regret nothing as far as me and Tame's history. I always look at these things as stuff that was supposed to happen to make you learn. Because I feel like even when me and Tame split for that time we had, that was a long, far as say like 10 years. It was a long 10 years, but in that 10 years, I was able to establish myself as a solo artist more than what I was in this group. And Tame was able to do the same thing. And when we got back together, what I saw and us getting back together was the solo parts bringing our two crowds together that we already had as artifacts, but we was able to see split up. And once we got back together, it was like, oh shit, like now we could do shows where this dude could go ahead and do solo songs, and I could do my solo songs, and then we do the artifact songs. And so, and then we were doing features, so we was able to do that. I was like, oh shit, this is dope. So it's like now we have two worlds that we didn't know we had together but separately, and then bringing it together futuristically brought the newer audience of cats that wasn't growing up with us in the 90s to what we doing now. So it's like, even with that, like what we said, I think with people who listening to us then and they hear about us, like even if people wasn't following us from 2008 to now, since we've been back together, even making all these records, they see a post like, word, they got an album coming out together. So that's why I try to put some sound to these posts, so they be like, damn, they hopefully will probably be surprised, because we do sound like not like we did then, but today sound like we do. And for them, that's new. For people who've been following us since 2008 to now, they feel like they about to get like a whole treat for them, because they have been following. So they've seen the progression even from us splitting to getting back together. So hopefully with bro, like I said, I don't regret nothing though at all.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, man. So I mean, it's a perfect.
I'm proud. I'm proud of me and Tane. I'm proud of what we did. A lot of people ain't proud of what they did in the past, but I'm proud, very proud.
No, that's dope. I mean, that's dope. I mean, that you wouldn't, really change anything. I mean, that's a nice, segue into the next part of this as far as this album goes, man. So how did it come about? Got Buck Wild producing this joint. And when's it drop, yo, by the way? Like, really drop?
All right. So I'm waiting. Everything is done. We had to really do another test pressing plate, because the one that we had originally, it didn't sound good, so they sent it back in to get another one. And the CDs are ready, cassettes are ready. It's just really like, I think my man's nervous because he knows some of this stuff not ready, so he just really want to put it out the right way. And I'm like, look, man, I understand, because I want it all to come at the same time too. Vinyl, the digital, but I'm waiting for him to get back to me right now. I know he's nervous. He putting out this big project, so I'm being patient. So that's why I put the 20th. But he hit me up. That's why I put up what I put in that post. Like, I'm waiting to press the button. So like once I see him put up on the site that the pre-order's good, and then we going. But even if it's a few days after the 20th, I'm cool with that too. I hope y'all are, but y'all hear it. Like a lot of people wasn't believing that it was done or even happening. So, we just if it don't be Saturday, it'll be a few days later.
It's been done. I've had it on my computer for a long time.
Word, like look, even you and Eclipse. Eclipse been like, yo, when can I drop the bomb, bro? I was like, look, we got hold tight. We got hold tight.
Yeah, it's been tough. So
A year, bro, a whole year and months.
it's been a year and some change. No, yo, because honestly, you played it for me in October 2020 when we shot the video in Jersey.
Right.
So
And it wasn't even mastered then.
it wasn't mastered then. So, but it's been done for over a year. So, how'd you decide on Buck?
Well, Buck was already working with the label, and he knew I knew Buck, and he knew he lived in New Jersey, and then he already had a relationship with him, so he was like, "Yo, like, why don't y'all like get together?" And so because it was a situation, it made it easier than us just going to Buck's crib or him coming here just playing us beats and shit like that. So we had a situation, so that made it better. Like Buck, has been active over the last couple dozen years, with Mayhem Loren, 7L, there's a lot, Subtitled, a lot of production, AZ, 50, Buck has lasted the test of time like we did, what I'm saying? From an era where dudes of his caliber probably wouldn't last. A lot of dudes disappeared, but with him having that DITC attached to him and him having such a well-rounded sound, but still based in the underground, it made sense for us to do this with him, so it's like, even with just only 10 songs, we wanted to do more, but like, let's stay with this 10 for right now, because even 10 is a lot for today's motherfuckers, where you only getting like 5 and 6, and they calling that shit an album and EP. Like EP is 6 to 8 songs, not 4 and 5. So it's like, and I felt like with these 10 with Buck, we capturing time sound, and through familiar names, to where people even know our affiliation with Buck from doing the first album work with him. Come On to Get Down, Attack of New Jerusalem, What Goes On, the Come On to Get Down remix with Buster. Even I did work with him outside of that throughout the years. In the early 2000s, I did a song with him, Diamond Deal. It's called Live Shit. Me, Pace One, and my man Big Quam. Diamond D on the hook. Y'all never heard that song. Buck produced that. That's on. You can check that on YouTube right now. But like, I hope that people who familiar with Buck and who familiar with us knows that, like, we're gonna definitely bring, what the names you see affiliated on this record will be the sound that you expect when you hear it in your head. And I think that we just really just trying to get people back to a time in their mind where it's like, when you heard these names, you knew what they were attached with when it comes to the sounds we was bringing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the energy behind it. Like, what was, like, when you guys were writing for that, and like, what was the vibe behind that? Did you guys go into it premeditated, like, we're gonna do this, or because it's a dope joint. We're gonna play a few snippets of it in a minute, but yeah, like, what was the vibe like behind it creatively?
Well, this was different because, of course, not being able to connect all the time. I had did some of the songs by myself until Tame came to the crib. But lyrically, it was still the same approach to any other record we do. We know we have to, for me, is this being next to Tame, I have to be lyrically on point, because I know this dude got bags of rhymes in my house. He comes here with rhymes and just go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing I have to worry
animal,
about.
Yo. He's an animal.
Right. It's like I know what he's gonna do. So it's like, and we've been like this even in the past, where it's like We going in the studio. We don't know what he's sitting in front of me. I don't know what he's writing, and we don't really sit there like, what you got? No, we're going to go in the booth, and then he's going to hear what I got. I'm going to hear what he got, and whatever adjustments I'm going to make, I'm going to have to make. But because I know not to make adjustments and come correct beforehand, I feel like I have to do the extra to make sure that I'm on with him. So it was like that even with these songs, you know, and because it's today, you know, and people may not know what to expect from us for 2022. It was more or less, we knew we had to be like, not even say more than what we are, but a little bit futuristically spicy to where people wouldn't think of us in a past view. You know, even when they pick up the record, even when, you know, but I think that with people knowing our track record, I would hope to think they wouldn't think we would come soft or lack lyrically on this record. So it was more or less like, okay, it's like a reset button. You know what I'm saying? We coming back, you know what I'm saying? But we're not totally like, we wasn't going away. People have seen us perform. People been seeing these 45s we've been putting out. But I think for the full project, you know, 10 songs, not a few songs here and there, not a feature here and there, is like a whole, you know, 10 joints.
Yeah, it's not just a you know, a couple joints here and there. It's a full joint, and I've had it for a long time. We're gonna play a little clip. Like I said, I can't.
I hear that lady talking. I hear that lady.
I keep throwing that shit in there because I want it to come. So we're gonna play a little bit of this shit. Yo, y'all ready to listen to some new artifacts?
Y'all want to hear some shit?
Produced by Buck Wild.
I see my man said too much gas. Nah, nigga, we on that whole octane shit right now. Unleaded, all gas.
Yeah, he's gone, actually.
Yeah, you got.
He's been gone. Yeah. So, big up. What up, Aztec? So, all right. Yo,
Aztec, what up? What up?
Show some love if you want to. All right, let's go. Gotta be in and out quick.
Word up. We're gonna fly through these joints.
I got skip on those.
Just from the voice, you know the fame pops, name spots, entertain things, remain flame shot, brutal execution and seclusion redeemed, supreme musical themes, the retribution it seems, all cry for, uno dos, most popular, senior class considered as host and co-sponsor, reloaded for waters in front of you engaged to, case spears, prepared, the yellow to persuade you, gonna totally needs the rosary beads, the wobbling cross by the time I'm finished, and turn this mic off, well, any cell like LL, spit a verse, I testify, nigga church. And never stop from hitting Compton. Wildin' on the rhyming and styling, cause I'm a problem. Undefeatable, unbelievable, under pressure. You never efforts only come up and be from a stretcher. Yes, I was made it in beats, together words, and it all blends. Trending from verse to last verse. Ass niggas.
Ass niggas.
When it's time to build. Ass niggas. Lyrics working from the rhyming skills.
All right. We're gonna do another one real quick. So
Play the third one. Play the third one.
Was that? I think mine might have got out of order. Is that better music?
Yeah.
All right. This one, right?
Yep.
Set it up for retribution. What you all these substitutions? Removal is brutal and crucial, whacking it's all confusion. Refusing that raw, trap jaw, crack war. Stop in the rule of rap, let's move it back. Feel like a time war. Divine force, focus sport, or folklore, overboard, post-war. What's a newer form? What you shooting for? Black support, rappers who got the sword. Weapons, bullets, and more, but a lesson I can show. Brick and ball, more, get it, y'all. Ladies on the floor, spitting mature, that dawn bombs, ringing all along. Push along, got strong seeds. Never hard to bleed, active right and fees, slogging trees, hiding them for the seas. Always proof free, fuck with dudes, speed, accelerate. Push to the level break, twist up, switch me elevate. Time to meditate, elevate, edible to the back, you state, we heavyweights. Legendary faith, from Jersey bars to state.
I see you, Nikki. What's up?
A minute. Yo, have you ever thought about doing, or have you been approached or ever done any like voiceovers, voice work?
I want to. Bad as hell.
Yeah, I
You
can see
need an
you
agent.
do.
You need an agent for all that shit. I trust me. I looked into it. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. Nah, you should talk to Wordsworth. He does a lot of that shit.
Yeah, man. There's a few people I know that done that shit. Do they still even do ESPN commercials and shit like that? My man Doja Ray used to do that. He was like, "Yo, I'm going to the bathroom real quick. Record this commercial." I'm like, "What commercial?" Then I hear this shit on TV. Like, wow, fuck, I need to be doing that.
Word. So, yeah, we're gonna play my joint. Play a little bit of my joint. We're gonna play the feature. Fucking, it's my
The
shit.
Afro.
Big up to the young homie Afro. Ate this shit. This nigga came correct on this.
Word up, word up.
We're playing a little bit of the new Artifacts album produced by entirely by Buck Wild, dropping hopefully within the next
Hopefully
week.
Saturday, y'all. Hopefully Saturday. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Hey, look, he in Germany, so it ain't like we can go get him.
Okay, so if it's not Saturday, like realistic, I mean, like, because there's rap time, which I'm not really on, and there's real people time. So like in terms of, so if it's not Saturday,
It might be a week later or some shit like that.
Can we say within a month if it's not Saturday?
No, yeah, he told me, he told me he expected something like this, but he told me, what if it's like the 25th or maybe in the first week of September? Motherfuckers, just bring it. Come on, man, hurry up. Like your man Ice Cube said, hurry up.
So what?
Hurry up with that.
So what's his thing like about it? What's he pressed about? Like
it's just him wanting all the product in front of him before all of this wave start to come, and he won't be able to handle it. So it's like, he was honest with me about that because this guy is not like a Fat Beats. This is not like, Vinyl Digital. This man is on his own, and he's doing all this shipping and shit and everything on his label on him by himself. So I'm trying to we giving them the benefit of the doubt, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, and my man said it best. One of my friends said it best. I seen him on the post. He's like, "L, been 25 years, nigga. I could wait another couple of weeks if it was the case." I was like, "All right, I love that energy. So keep that."
I feel that way about you because I know it's gonna come, but I do not feel that way about Redman Muddy Waters too.
I think that's a lot of people.
And he always goes on. He'll post something. He'll be like, "Yo, Muddy Waters 2 coming." I'm like, "Fuck out of here." So,
like I told him the same thing. I was like, "Hurry up with it, man."
Come on, man. All right, so we're gonna play this joint. We're gonna play the feature from Afro.
No doubt.
Joint's called Contagious. This shit. This shit. Alright, here we go. Afro ate this shit.
Recognize that shit. Yo. Who do it steadily? Who's a dude who knew better offending me? Using the leprosy, make traps like human centipedes. Stay black up on racetracks like who ahead of me? Stay back. I use spray cans for all my weaponry. Put in my own dirt, leaving the whole burst. Steven and scroll first. 44 caliber rifle stifle your growth spurt. Shipment fuck, can't replace no one out of endo. Looks up, dust, it's time to throw him out the window. Legs broken, neck split, next open, next pick. Best to know who blood shit. Test the water, shark swim. Megalodon, full dawn, while I'm dawn. Vito, the evil, la bomba, black mamba, you rhyme for Quito. I'm not legal, I rock hot rhymes evil. And he know how the bombs I drop is USSR Stilo. Who do it best, bless the song Regal. Artifact, tame, sensei, my people.
That's it. I don't trust this.
Wow.
They do not like me. So
You word?
yes. Yo,
They
they don't like me, yo. I don't get. Yo, I got like it was so the funniest shit. I got started getting paid for reels, and supposedly, and then like today it was like ineligible. Like really,
yeah, they hit me with that shit too when I changed my page. I was like, whatever.
wow, yo. So yeah. So listen, that you guys, I'm telling you, I've had, like I said, I've had it for a while. I play it and I get pissed off, and then it's 10 joint show, like. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a no skip album. I think Rascast is on there too, right?
Yes, sir. Rascast is on the joint, and Big Joker is also on that song.
Yeah, big up to Big Joker. They in their bag, man. It's cuts and scratches and fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's some, you know what it is. I mean, you know what you get. So
this record is definitely built for the people who miss all that shit, man. Like just having rumbling bass drums, rumbling bass lines, just cuts and scratches and the hooks. You know, we tried to cover all the bases with this record, but it's pretty much just, you know, for us, added piece to the collection of artifacts records that we've been putting out over the years. But this is more close to our first two records than anything we've been doing in the past.
No, it's great, man, and everybody telling you definitely, you know, support as far as like if you fuck with L, you fuck with Tame, you fuck with Artifacts. This is an album that, because it's easy to get shit for free, especially for me and stuff like that. I mean, he gave it to me, but I'm saying, like, even for me, like, turn on Spotify or whatever. But if you like physicals and vinyls and all that vinyl, all that shit, and that's your thing, you know. So, yo, are you trying to do some touring or something behind this, some shows and stuff? Again, I know it's a different
Yes,
these days, but
yes, we are, man. Like, you know, we're gonna let this record come out and see what people gonna say about it. And you know, I know this fall and winter, I'm gonna let everybody know. Like, so Tame is you know, a working guy, no different than Sadat. So I've been able to maneuver around that, and we're gonna definitely plan some things, even if it's in America first. We're gonna work on Europe later. I'm gonna probably be in Europe this December with Craig G and Percy P by myself. But definitely next year we're gonna be setting up. I'll say this. I'm saying it now because I know it's gonna happen. Me and Tane will be in Australia in March. You know, we putting that in the air right now. A few people I'm working with, people who I'm talking to, some people I know in Australia right now. You know, the thing that I won't do is try to say too much, but I will say we more than likely will be out there next year. And just like my man breaking off, I'm gonna be in Canada this year. I'll talk about that with my man. So like, I know you know, this is something that I think we can do. I just gotta manipulate the Canadian consulate to make them understand what they're looking at in the computer is not a charge. It's look. They think that I got arrested for selling CDs in front of a school. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? You know, but what I will say is, in New Jersey, when you do shit in these charges, they start with letters and numbers and shit like that. So when I'm over there, I asked the lady that did let me see the computer in the border. She's like, and I said, can I see what you looking at? Because I've never been arrested for selling CDs in front of a school. I do that online. So she's like, all right. She turned the computer around. I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, ma'am, let me ask you a question. I said, in Canada, they have charged for stolen car, right? She's like, yeah. I said, usually what do they start with? She said, letters and numbers, or numbers, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, so in New Jersey, that's what we have too. I said, look right there. It's two people on this thing. It was a dude I knew, and they got his charge and they got my charge. Of course, I got the misdemeanor weed charge. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't have nothing on me anyway, but that's what they gave me, right? So I'm showing her. He has the car. I have the bud. She was like, and I said, what do I start with? She was like, CDS. Yeah, that's CDS. You think it means CDs, dummy? That means the charge. Like, so every time I go to the border, they look at that and think that means CDs. I'm like, what are y'all doing? That's the charge number for what I got arrested for. So I'm clearing that up instantly, immediately. Because listen, even with that happening, I was still going back and forth to Canada. And then the last time I went, when she turned me away, she's like, how did you get in here and this, the other? Because I told them what happened, which you won't let me do. Because if you did, I'll be going over the border right now. So I'm going to clear that up because I need to be over there.
Damn. So funny thing is that it's Big Up Break North Radio. Me and Mo went up there to try to build with them, and we had some issues at the border too.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Drove right back around. We were gonna try to stop in Buffalo, and, you know what I'm saying, and see what was up there. We just came back home. So that would be dope, yo. If you get that cleared up, then
no doubt.
That's only like four and some change. You know what I'm saying, from where I am.
Yeah, I mean, and then on my own, I could jump on that goddamn megabus. It ain't nothing. And that's how I would do it. That's how I was doing it before that happened. I did a few shows up there. Just jumped on the bus, went up there a couple of days, did a couple of shows, and came back home. And you know that's like being in New York, being in Toronto. To me, it's just cleaner. It's just clean.
It's just clean. Yeah, no, it's a big Big difference. No, definitely. I love Canada. I love Canada, man. So definitely
No
that'd be
doubt,
dope.
definitely. I
Yep.
love Toronto. Like I've been there the most in Toronto. So like T Dot and all the artists that come with it, Rascals, Chauclair, Sock. You know, these dudes are like here, but there. My heroes there.
Yeah, yeah, no, they dope, yo. You name some like legendary cats, you know what I'm saying, as far as like spitters go, you know, Toronto
Look, even
leads
that
in
even
that.
that post I sent you for one of the throwback joints, that group Checkmate. They from
Oh
out
yeah,
there. That's them dudes is crazy.
yeah, nah, cats got skills up there, man. So nah, it'd be dope. So other than that, as far as so that's coming soon. Listen, everybody, go fuck with that shit, man. Like it's be out soon
Yeah,
because
and everybody, look, go to my new page. I got hacked on my IG
right,
like everybody else. So like, if you listening, you watching, my new page is this one here, EL_DA_SENSEI. Elder Sensei, still the same name, but just underscores. And you know, the same effect, same page, same everything, same customer service, same your shirt fast, hat fast, and nothing changes. It's just a new page.
yeah. So yeah, definitely support that, man, and go. You know what I'm saying? Follow that new shit, that hacking shit, and everybody, listen, get that two-factor authentication
Yes, I did that.
and get your codes. You got these backup codes, but sometimes still you lose your shit. So yeah, definitely support that. So aside from this, what you got jumping off? This is coming out soon. And again, everybody go check it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Show some love. It's you want real hip hop, it's 10 tracks, fucking real shit. Like
Right, right. They see,
no
they know what you're about. To send that real shit, y'all. Don't bring no garbage.
yeah, ain't no fucking questionable, like what the fuck was it? You know, there's no look shit where you looking at your homeboy like, yo, what the fuck this nigga was doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's none of that shit on here. There's just real fucking music, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so what you got going on? We got a couple minutes before we get out of here. What you got going on other than that? I know you're working like
All
hard.
right, yeah. So we're gonna be quick with this. There's 2 records out right now. Signature Funk, both on the same label. Signature Funk, produced by DJ Crucial, El Capo, out right now. F5 Records, and there's a new Artifact single out right now on F5 Records. Jersey Endurance. Pick those up right now. Got mad records about to come out. There's me and Tony Galvin coming soon. All these records are getting wrapped up. They mixed and mastered, video shot and everything. So this record will come in back of the Artifact record. But immediately, we waiting for this Artifact joint to come out. But those 2 records I mentioned, you can pick those up right now.
Word. So yeah, you always got mad fucking guns ablazing. So that's I knew it wasn't just like, oh, we're waiting for this Artifacts album. And
Oh
as
no,
always,
it's stuff I can't even talk about that's coming out.
I'm sure I'm sure. And there's always you know what I'm saying, El got the quality merch, so hit him up for that shit. He's responsive, he's quick, he's on it, you know what I'm saying? He works with you, he's fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, as I said, one of the real cats in this shit as far as just all around, you know what I'm saying, swell guy, you know.
No doubt. I try
So,
my best. I know there's motherfuckers out there like, I hate this motherfucker.
yeah, I mean, same here. I get it too. So I can understand, you know what I mean? But as far as I'm concerned, like, you know what I'm saying, you've been a stand-up dude, and it's easy because most of them are fucking crumbs. So
right. Just be regular.
easy to see that. So yes. So obviously, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? You guys gonna see a lot of promo for this shit. When El gives me the green light, he's gonna be like, I know he's gonna hit me like, yo, we ready, let's go time. So you're gonna see a lot of promo for this shit. This shit
Yes,
is
sir.
fire. Yo, what's the actual? I'm an asshole. What's the actual name of the album?
The name of the album is No Expiration
Date. Right? Yeah. So No Expiration Date, produced entirely by Buck Wild. 10 tracks, Artifacts, Dirty Jers.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get this up, yo. So as always, man, it's a pleasure. Your family, my brother. I appreciate
No
it.
doubt, brother.
And so we'll get this up. I'll tag you, but keep me in the loop with the album. And everybody, thank you for joining in. As always, you know what I'm saying? This is episode 97.
Peace, yo.
Of this motherfucker. So we're doing it. So we'll get this up. And everybody have a good night. I'll talk to you, Al.
Yeah. Peace, yo.
Peace.